So, welcome back to the next stage of the spooky journal build. So, as you can see, I've got the metallic paints out again. The last video that you saw was me creating the signatures. So let me just move that paint out of the way and I'll explain my thought process behind what's going to happen. Excuse the spider. So once I'd got the signatures inside the journal, you can see how kind of fat it is compared to the spine. So what I thought was perhaps I need to turn it into a traveller's notebook style rather than actually stitch the signatures into the tray and then glue the tray in, because that's kind of permanent and there's going to be a lot of stress. Whereas if you've got the traveller's notebook spine in there, then you can at least take one of the signatures out or thin the signatures down. Once they're stitched, it's permanent. With the traveller's notebook, you can remove signatures, make it a little bit thinner. You can adjust the weight and the thickness of the signatures as you're going along. So I thought it's more flexible if we turn it into a traveller's. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've created, or I've cut a traveller's notebook spine that will fit on the inside of the journal. So it's the exact size to fit on the inside of those covers. But as you can see, it's wood coloured and the journal isn't. So I need to paint this, because you will probably see it just on the edges. So I can't decide whether to put it underneath there, so there's a bit showing top and bottom, and then attach the tray. I think that's probably going to be the best way to do it, because that then gives some more stability to the spine as well. Makes the spine a lot more rigid. So I think that's probably the best way to go about it. So I need to paint those edges before I glue it into the journal. And then once it's glued into the journal, I can attach, well actually I need to make sure I've positioned I've got the holes right as well, don't I? Well, what I can do before I glue it in, actually, I might glue it to that. You see, you can obviously tell I'm doing this on the fly, working out the best way, the best procedure, the best steps in which to do it. That's probably going to be the best way to do it, actually. Glue it to that first. I can then see where the holes are, then flip it and then glue that in directly. Okay, we have a plan now. So let me just move the journal covers and the signatures out of the way. So now we need that raven black paint. There we go. So just give it a shake up, because it has been sat for a day or two. That should do us. Lovely. And then I will paint the whole thing just for completion's sake, just because I'm not going to gesso first, but I will do the whole thing, including the edges, or as they say here in Yorkshire, thedges. I'll do thedges and all. There you go. And that sounds like a Mr. Nipper coming up the stairs. It is. Hello, baby. Are you going back to bed? Okay. We've just been out for a WALK. It was raining, so they're not impressed because they're now damp. We've had teddy plays and they've had the breakfasts. So now they've had all that exercise, they've had food. It's time to go back to sleep, because that's what whippets do. People think whippets need a lot of exercise. They do not. They do like a run, but they're sprinters, so they like to do it in short bursts. So you take them out in the morning, let them have a run, And that's it then for the next few hours. And then in the afternoon, take them out, let them have a run, and that's it. Done. They will sleep for the rest of the day. With ours, we take them out in the morning, let them have a run, and then they come back, they have the breakfast, because by that time they're starving, and then we have a play with the teddies, so they have another blast of exercise, and then they go back to bed, and I don't see them again till lunch, which gives me mostly a lot of uninterrupted time to sit and do things like this with you guys. So that's what gives me the time, particularly when Ian's not here, when Ian's away working, which he is today. So it's just me and the boys today. Right, so I'm going to leave that to dry. Actually, I might just encourage that to dry now. I haven't got my heat gun out. I haven't unpacked the bag since the class. I think I've put my heat guns away. Hang on. Excuse the banging and the clattering. Yeah, I have done. I hadn't put my heat gun away. I have put my heat gun away rather than leave it out. I was being tidy. How foolish of me. You should never have a tidy craft room. It's not conducive to spontaneous work. There we go. All plugged back in again. Right. Right, so that's dry. So I can now way too much paint on that brush. I can now just go and do this end. I need to get my website stocked back up with the Traveller's Notebook sets. I know you guys have been waiting for them again to come back in stock, but I've been just concentrating, one job at a time, concentrating on trying to get the stencils stocked back up again on the website, of which they now are. So all the stencils are now fully stocked on the website to the ones that I'm going to be continuing with. Obviously there'll be one or two designs that I'm going to be discontinuing, but the website's now fully stocked with all my stencils again. So that's good. So now I can concentrate on stocking up with the Medite. Right, let me just get that dried off. While the glue gun is heating up, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay down the tray, and I'm going to just use my mat in front of me as a guide for positioning, and then just try to get it so that I've got equal room top and bottom. Make sure it is level. That looks about right to me. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a pencil, because that side you're never going to see. See, that to me now looks like that's further on than the other, as in not equal distant. Let's have a look. Equidistant, centimetre. Yeah, not quite right. That should have been a little bit. I might have to get my head in shot for this, so sorry if I do, but I need to get this fairly sort of accurate. Right, that's probably more like it. I'll take the lower one on both. Okay, so like I was saying, you're not going to see this side, but you will probably see this side. So what I want to do is I just want to tidy it up and add a couple of eyelets. So I've just got my eyelet setter. I'm going to just line that up. Actually, I don't think I used the right size there. So we'll just go back. No, I didn't use the right size, did I? What a fool I am. Right, let's go back. Make sure we've got the right one. There we go. And then if I drop that over the top now, yes, there we go. That's the spirit. And what I can do, just pop those eyelets in, and then that just kind of tidies that up a little bit on the other side. And I've used the wide eyelets because I like the wide ones, and I've chosen brass as opposed to black. Okay, all right, so we've got those. So now I'll just drop that on the floor, flip that over, and I think we've got time now. Oh, that's the glue gun is, yeah. And I'm using glue gun because this particular one is very strong. And I'm just going to put a little dab top and bottom. But once it's down, it's down. I only get one chance at this. One chance. So I'm just going to get my head in shot, so I do apologise. And I'm lining up the eyelets with the holes. Okay, that looks like I'm just over a little bit, but do you know what? That's not too bad. Okay, so next trick. Is to put the holes, oh, that's awful, that's not good at all. Right, I need to reposition that. So let me just heat it up again. Okay, so all I did was just reheat that strip again, and I was able to move the wood over, because you can do that with a hot glue gun. You can't do that with PVA or anything else. So what I need to do now is just mark the outer spine. So I've now got a mark there and a mark there, and I need to do the same thing again with some more eyelets. So I'll do that and then I'll be right back. So I've added the same eyelets to the actual outer of the spine as I have done to the inner. So if we flip this over now, all you have to do is to add glue on there and then line up your eyelets. So this is going to be a one chance, sorry about the head, a one chance again. But like I said, if you do get it wrong, then it's not a huge problem, because you can just heat it again and just maneuver it slightly. So just try and get it over the holes if you can first time. All right, so again, I'm going to add just a small blob of glue around there, all the way down. And then just add a little bit just around the hole, just to keep it in position. And don't worry about the strings either, we can sort those out later. And again, excuse me getting my head in shot, but I need to just to line up those eyelets. There we go. Get it squidged down. There we go. So we've now got that kind of wooden support. That's going to mean we can put thicker, heavier duty elastic in if you wanted to, depending on what your, let's turn that off now because we don't need that anymore. Heavier duty elastic to hold the heavy signatures. So what I like to do, right, and don't forget you can if you want to. If you get the wrong weight of elastic, you just snip it and just rethread it. So the way that I like to do mine is I like to thread from the inside out. So if you go inside, come on. Oh, it's not blocked up with glue, has it? I bet it has. Oh, I need a Bradall. Right, back in a second. There we go. It just had a little bit of glue in it. Not a lot. That was the offending piece. Tiny, tiny bit. Right, so where was I? Oh yes, I like to thread mine from the inside out. Won't go through. Oh, why aren't you going through now? It's clear. Because I'm blind. Right. Pull that all the way through. And then tie it, pull it taut. Oh, it's just vexing me now. Right. And then pull it and then tie it off in the middle. Okay, so scissors. This is reaching across because I've had a tidy up, and yes, nothing's within reach anymore. Right, so I'm only going to be using about just over one length because I want tension. So when you stretch your elastic and then pull it together to tie your knot, it's under tension. And that is usually what keeps everything in place. Right. Sometimes it's easier with more than two hands, but since I've only got two hands at work today, as in me, there we go. And then I can just trim that off. And then what I usually do is I use a little candle lighter or a match and just burn off those edges. Okay, so that should be enough now for that central signature. So that should now just fit quite nicely. Shuffle the pages in. Try not to catch the pockets. What's it catching on? It's catching on something. There we go. Oh, do you know? Right, first signature in. So what we need now is one more of those elastic bands. Plus we can just wiggle those around if we want to. There we go. So one more elastic band. So we'll do that. Cut it just a little bit shy. Oh, look. Twisted. And then create that elastic band. So like so. Tell you what, rather than me fiddling around with this, why don't I just go away and do it? Come back, because you don't really want to just sit there watching me fiddling with a piece of elastic, do you? Failing miserably because I've got big fat sausage fingers. Oh, do you know what? Look, I've done it now. All right, so you have sat there and watched me do it. All right, let's pull that taut. There we go. Now that is not going to move anywhere. So I'm going to place that around. Actually, no, we don't, do we? No. It's a while since I've done one of these. Right, so I want to add the elastic around the middle of that one signature. Because we've used the thick cardstock, it's going to sustain that. That's fine. We can hide that there. Close that. Open the other signature other way around, so it's back to back. And that also goes through that elastic. So you've got that kind of mechanism going on. And then all you do is lift up your middle signature and then your first signature and then slot those other two. Try not to get it caught on the pocket, and then lift it up. And then it just clicks into place. There you go. Oh, blimey. And now your signatures can be taken out, used, manoeuvred, added to, taken away, and swapped and swapped around. And if that elastic works out that it's not heavy duty enough, you can always just change it. And it's not obtrusive on the spine as well. You can barely see it. Plus you can also hang things round that bottom part there if you want to. You can add little charms and things on it. Okay, so that is adding the signatures into our spooky journal. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create the journal so far. If you have, please remember to give the videos a thumbs up, share them with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already for more videos like this one, then you can click that button at the end. So next we have to populate it with some more tags and more journaling cards. See you in the next one. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.